Well, thank you for coming. This is my PowerPoint presentation on the history of werewolves, since we are talking about a werewolf mystery. Some of you may be familiar with my Crispin Guest Medieval Noir series. That's where most people know me from. I also write historical novels, and I've started getting into paranormal novels. Book of the Hidden was the first series published, and the second series that I began is The Demon Device. That's the Enchanter Chronicles series, a steampunk series. And this new series, Moonrisers Werewolf Mysteries, is a spin-off from Book of the Hidden. So we're going to talk about werewolves and history. So first, we're going to talk about the beginnings of werewolfdom. The poet Ovid relates the tale, the first mention of a werewolf in print, in the 1st century BCE. It seems that King Lycaon, king of Arcadia, wanted to test Zeus' omniscience. Say that 3 times fast. And got the bright idea to kill and roast his own son Nyctimus and serve it up to Zeus to see if he is all that after all. Well, Zeus was decidedly not amused, was in fact all-knowing, and knew what Lycaon pulled, and promptly changed him into a wolf beast with a taste for human flesh. And in a rare show of compassion, brought Nyctimus back to life, presumably with the eaten parts also restored. Now that might be the first mention of a werewolf, but there was no end of stories that spread all over Europe and beyond about people who either willingly or unwillingly became werewolves. Sometimes by having the bad luck to be born on Christmas Eve. That's Russia. Gotta love them. Or being born the 7th son. I'm looking at you, Portugal. It wasn't until the English writer Gervase of Tilbury in the 11th century that we connect the presence of the full moon with the transformation. But there is perhaps the best-known real-life incident, the well-documented case of the man-eating beast of Gévaudan in France in the mid-18th century. And there it is, the very scary beast. Contemporary eyewitnesses described a beast with formidable teeth and huge tails as a wolf, a dog, or a wolf-dog or a dog-wolf hybrid. There were 210 attacks, resulting in 113 deaths over the 3-year period, most of the dead being partially eaten. Even the King of France got into the act by sending his own royal hunters and soldiers to kill it. We probably get the idea that a werewolf can be taken down with a silver bullet from this period when the hunter Jean Chastel finally brought down the beast in the summer of 1767, reportedly from bullets he forged out of silver. But how were they depicted in literature? Well, in medieval romances such as Bisclaveret and Guillaume de Palarme, the werewolf is relatively benign, appearing as the victim of evil magic and aiding knights errant. The White Wolf of the Hartz Mountains, a story in the novel The Phantom Ship from 1839 by Marryat, features a demonic femme fatale who transforms from woman to wolf. Hugh the Werewolf by Sutherland Menzies was published in 1838. And Wagner the Werewolf, or Wagner the Werwolf, from 1847 by G.W.M. Reynolds, we find the classic subject of a man who, although a kind-hearted man himself, accepts a deal with the devil to become a werewolf for 18 months. 18, not a year, not a couple months. You gotta read the contract, people. Accompanying Dr. Faustus, well, that should have told him right off, and killing humans in exchange for youth and wealth, as one does. The Man Wolf, published in 1831 by Ritchie, is the werewolf in an 11th century setting, while Catherine Crowe penned what is believed to be the first short story by a woman about a werewolf. A Story of a Werewolf from 1846. Other werewolf stories of this period include The Wolf Leader, 1857, by Alexandre Dumas. Yeah, that guy. And Hugh Le Loup, 1869, by Eric Chatran. American pulp magazines, not to be outdone, of the 1920s to the 1950s, such as Weird Tales, include many werewolf stories. But the most renowned werewolf novel of the 20th century was The Werewolf of Paris, from 1933 by American author Guy Endore. But it wasn't until the tale of Larry Talbot, played by Lon Chaney Jr. in 1941's The Wolfman, that we captured the public's imagination. The full moon, gypsy curse, the silver to kill a werewolf all came together, including this now famous rhyme, "You can say with me." Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Many more movie depictions followed. I'm sure you have your favorites. It seems we never get tired of the werewolf, whether for comedy relief or pure horror or all the places in between.